Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Forged in the Spirit podcast. Sorry if my voice sounds a little groggly. I have had allergies the past couple days. The nice western Pennsylvania weather with the temps going up and down every time around this time of year. I start to get allergies, so my throat's a little scratchy, and probably just gonna have a quick podcast this morning as I try to recover from my allergies and I think a fitting scripture today is from Matthew chapter 11, start of verse 28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I know that in the past few years here, as I've been doing ministry, I haven't taken a lot of time in my life to find rest. I know that it's something me and Amanda talk about quite often about how I get too busy and I do make myself that way. I have a full-time job and the ministry, and the one thing that the committee always does is to make sure that their evangelists are finding time to rest. And I noticed that this year and the new year I tried to be better at finding rest and doing things that are enjoyable outside of the ministry, and spending more time with family and myself, being in reflection. And oftentimes you look, and as a evangelist and your pastors feel the same way, you're constantly pouring out without getting that refill. And in the scripture, when Jesus reveals the Father through him, and he says about going to him and giving you rest, is like when Jesus was doing everything out in the world, and he always found time to pray to the Father to get that rest. And in the fast paced world we live in now, we don't do that as much as we should. Whether it be resting physically from your labors, spiritually from what you're doing, and just mentally getting a reset and getting yourself into a better situation. We need to do a better job. We see all these things in the world that are going on with people and the suffering that they go through, and mental strain. And I know some people that their work puts a lot of strain on them because some people just don't get the time off that they need to do a reset, and we're constantly dragging ourselves down. And in this time of reflection, I know that I have done that, and taken these past couple days really to sit and kind of reset my mind and getting into the scripture, and just thanking God for everything that he has done for me, because when you have time to rest, you have time to reflect. And in reflecting and looking at this podcast alone, I think this is the 6th episode, looking at the impact and what this ministry is doing, it far exceeds anything I ever thought it would do. We're 5 episodes in. This is the 6th, with over 200 listeners. And I want to thank you if you're listening to this, and you have been listening. And I appreciate you. And we know that the one thing in this ministry that was a vision and now has become a reality was to bring scripture outside of where we're at in Western PA. And we have done that into Ohio, New York, North Carolina. And I reflect on everything God has done for each and every one of us, bringing us together into this community. And I am eternally grateful for each one of you. I'm grateful for the gifts that God has given each one of us in this mission field of His to bring the kingdom to the earth. And we work very hard to make heaven a reality here. We work hard to bring peace. We work hard to bring hope. But God doesn't want us to keep working without going to Him and taking time to talk to Him and reset. Jesus tells us in the scripture, when we feel heavy, when we feel burdened, to go to Him to bring peace to ourselves. Because if we are feeling run down and unpeaceful and at unrest, what do we expect to take with us to the next step? So this week, as I recover from these allergies, and I want you to take time after you listen to this to go and find a time of rest, whether it be by yourself, with your loved ones, and go into a reflective state of mind of what God has done for you. Thank Him for everything and the gifts that He has given you, and give yourself time to reset, because if we keep going in the old fashioned way of what we are doing, we can't grow. And if we don't grow, the kingdom won't grow. So take the time to reflect, take the time to go to the Lord and rest, and take some of that burden off yourself so that we can continue to grow the kingdom a soul at a time. I hope you have all been well. I hope you all continue to do well. I hope that if you're seeking help, that you continue to seek. Keep going to your appointments. Get back in a good mental state of mind, because your purpose here far exceeds what you ever thought your life could be. You're here for a reason. You're here to bring hope. You're here to be loved. So when you go to God, talk to Him about what your needs are. I want to thank you. I know it's short this week, but we'll be back stronger and better than ever next week. Blessings to you and to everybody in your family and friend groups. And I'll see you next week.